Alrighty, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the daily Roundup webinar. Let me go ahead and turn on my video here. I don't know if you guys can see me or not. It looks like you can. All right. As I was telling the guys and gals in the chat room, what I wanted to talk about today is actually some false breakouts, breakdowns, and I think we need to be aware of them. I think those are going to be, it's important today, especially ahead of the bank ECB tomorrow. And let's talk about like the first and foremost about the euro. So the euro came really close to 118. I picked it up at 118.03 here. Picked it up at 118. I got out of it pretty quickly after 11 pips. I'm long euro New Zealand and euro sterling. So, you know, ahead of the bank, the European Central Bank, I just don't know if I really wanted that much exposure. So, but you know, as I've been mentioning to you guys, I really think we're going to be mid-range tomorrow, which if you look at let's just take the 4-hour chart. If you look at mid-range, I believe mid-range is going to be right about here. I know I said this yesterday, but nothing's changed in my view regarding the euro. So obviously you got to think about how that's going to influence like anything else that you're trading as well. You know, like let's talk about, for example, let's talk about the sterling. So the sterling made a little false breakdown below the 38% retracement, and it's leading to a short squeeze. Then there were some comments from the Bank of England regarding that they had talked about the possibility of raising rates, but it's just back and forth. But it was enough to cause a squeeze in the sterling, and that's what created this move up in the pound over the course of the last hour. Like I said, people in the chat room knew this. I was in a meeting. I was kind of in a meeting, and I was like, "Holy cow, I missed that." But Aussie dollar, another similar situation. False breakdown below lows. We're squeezing. Now, do I think the bigger false breakout above the highs? Do I think that's a bigger deal? I do. And so I still look at the Aussie. If we get anywhere, you know, above 74 cents, matter of fact, I might as well just set my alarm for that because my order's already canceled. But we get a move back above 74 cents. I would not mind being on the short side of the Aussie dollar up there. But, you know, we got to make it up there first. Kiwi stabilizing a little bit. Dollar Canadian. Following the Bank of Canada, pullbacks have been pretty minor, but we spiked down, rallied above the highs, triggered all the stops, almost hit the 618 and reversed. So now, because we triggered all these stops up here, you have to imagine the risk in the dollar Canadian, especially with stocks doing what they're doing. The risk in the dollar Canadian is probably back down here again. What I'm going to be looking for over the course of the next couple of days is to see if the dollar Canadian will not make new lows. If it doesn't make new lows, then I know we're just very well supported down at these, you know, 125 level or so. And then I'll just look to be long somewhere down here. I'm not messing with it at the moment, but that's just how I feel about the dollar Canadian. Dollar Swiss, like I said, the risk is that we're going to do exactly what the dollar yen did, rally and reverse. A little worried about that. US dollar Norwegian krona, you can see every time we get up at this 872, 873 level, this is resistance. I actually took I had a little long up here from 68, however many days ago it was. I picked it up and I sold it up here at 870, like 872, 871 and change, just because like I'm still tracking it, but I didn't feel that the equity markets were ready to sell off yet, which they haven't. And so that provoked me just to take it off, and I'll try to get it. I'll try to put it back on a little bit lower price. Cayman in the chat room also mentioned, he said his base case is not for risk off, but in the event that the dollar Norway gets above these highs, which I 100% agree. And as I said in the chat room, I 1000% agree. If we get above these highs here, you got to imagine risk off is coming. So again, I'm not expecting that just yet, but that's like a little bit of a risk. One last thing I want to talk about really quick is the S&P. Notice again, probe below the lows, probe below that 4,500 level, couldn't hold it, and now we just squeezed. So is the market still bullish? Yeah, it is. Does that mean that the stock market's never going to go down? No. But what that means is for today, stock market's pretty well bid, and you have to respect it. You have to respect the fact that we continue to hold up in this wedge. You know, it's a breakdown of this wedge where things will look a little not so good, right? Take a look at the DAX really quick, because the DAX has been the DAX had been underperforming. And you can see we're really close to support here, which is going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to turn lower, but you know, if it does, we're going to have to start paying a little bit closer attention to equities like the S&P and just in general, because let me take a better look at this DAX really quick. Oops. Yeah, you could arguably say it's broken. I don't know. You know, maybe it is. Maybe the DAX is what's going to, you know, end up leading us lower. So I don't know, guys. It's a hard call right now. Oh, one other thing I want to bring up to your attention. Look at the Rand. The Rand just pushed below lows. Whoops. Push below support here. That's interesting. I think that's something that we need to keep an eye on, because if the Rand turns around and just starts rallying, maybe that shows you another false break. But that would be, hey, stocks are ready to turn lower type of move. I don't know if that's gonna be the case, but look at this. Hold on really fast. Let's do something. Let me get rid of this. I haven't been paying too close attention to it other than knowing it's near support. So what's interesting about that, I actually would love to be notified if we get there. Because if the US dollar South African Rand gets down to the 618, that means it cleared out these stops. And then maybe is ready to turn around. Again, just some food for thought. I guess the thing that worries me most about this risk aversion or possible risk off, what worries me the most right now is the DAX. I know the DAX has been underperforming, but I'm glad that we sat here and did a little bit more analysis, because I just took that spike low post-COVID, and I'm going to actually tweet this, guys, because I think it's important that everybody sees. So let me get rid of a few things. Let me clean it. I'm actually going to tweet this out. Because it is an important chart, I think. Because if people start looking around and saying, hey, wait a second, you know, I see this big, Adam said, yeah, thanks, Blake. I have make it or break it for DAX between here and 50 points lower. Yeah, I mean, we're probing the first wedge support, the main wedge support, let's just put it that way. The secondary wedge, we're right on it, right? So we could probably do this just to make it distinct. That's scary to me, and that's not something that I was necessarily expecting. So, and like I said, the DAX has been underperforming. What other market's been underperforming here? Let's take a look at the Russell. That's it. We had so much rain here, like, you know, I live in the desert, so we had so much rain over the last like month. It's still hot as all get out, but now it's hot with bugs. And so if you see me doing that, it's because there's a bug around. Yeah, there's the Russell. The Dow, I think, would be the closest in relation to would be the closest in relation to the DAX. The Dow's kind of looking the same. Let's get rid of this because okay, so here's just a look. Okay, look at the Dow and see how we broke through that support and then we bounced, right? Look at the DAX. This could be very similar. Breakthrough support, and then we just bounce, right? So I do think that the DAX is kind of flirting with risk off. And I think those you got to look at the you got to look some of the underperforming markets and just keep that in mind. Because we could get up tomorrow. Like, let's just say, I'm just throwing this out there. We get up tomorrow, DAX is down like, let's talk something realistic. Let's say, you know, DAX is down like maybe 2%, right? And then a 2% down in the DAX, and, you know, people in the US go, ooh, that's ugly. And then they start selling some, maybe large cap stocks. And then you get like kind of the rollover type of effect, the domino effect, if you will. So it is worth noting. All right. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna roll on out of here. Just be really careful. A lot of false breaks today, a lot of false breaks this week, but that's good. We're seeing volatility. Welcome to September. I'm happy that we get some volatility back. So that's good, right? All right, guys, have a great one. Thanks everybody for your support as always, and I will see you in the chat rooms or tomorrow morning.